being able to follow up and make sure that it's complete. If there is a change order, following that process all the way through before we enter the completed invoice. So very clerical in some aspects, but always technical.
Tell me a little bit about your business.
Well, A Better Contractor, we're a GC that currently specializes in the hospitality space, hotels, a lot of hotel work. Our portfolio of hotels that we work with was heavily leveraged into one client, and we
Yep.
have done everything possible over the last 3 years to diversify. The eggs in one basket can be a business killer. So we're growing outside of that into more of a retail shell build out. But the business that got us here, we will cling to that because it is a wonderful relationship and business model. But being able to grow exponentially based on the relationships, and I know you understand as well as anything, if you've got good relationships that are authentic, you can have great partners, and great partners create great opportunities, and just keep that going. Feed the wheel, right?
Yeah. And you guys are scaling quickly. I understand that you guys have crossed like another kind of threshold in terms of revenue, and you guys are on that hunt for a $50 million company, is my understanding.
Yeah. Kendall, our goal this year is to reach 15 million in revenue. And by doing that, we will require Kendall to eat an entire box of donuts. So, yeah, it's our way of showing him that, hey, we can and will. But hey, it's not without its bumps and everything else. But if we're sitting in a room late December this year and, all holding a paper bag ready for him to meet his threshold, then it'll be a good day.
Dude, I cannot wait. Please have that on video. I want to see. If you're listening right now, Kendall is a man who, like, I think his body fat is like at 10%, and he's a healthy guy. And so he probably wants you to hit that 15 million, but he also does not want to eat a bag of donuts,
Well, yeah, what goal should not come without pain? And so his pain will be the amount of sugar intake that is required. And, big, hairy, audacious, I guess we may have to have a BHD on each the first 3 donuts he inhales. So there was a time where I'm sure those dozen donuts could go down easier. But to your point, yeah, he's flushed his system, so to speak, of such toxic intake. Whereas the rest of us, hey, it's a lifeblood. Give me a donut, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Coffee too, right? Okay, Dave. So tell us about hiring virtual assistants. You guys kind of went through a transformation. You guys have got a couple with us. I want to hear about your experience, what your thoughts are, how a contractor ought to use virtual assistants in their business.
Well, it was brought to us as, hey, we've got a couple administrators in the company that deal with the administrative task, and a lot of them are repeatable. And as we've all discussed and heard, hey, you got your $10 an hour task, you've got your $1,000 an hour task. Which ones are you going to, delegate, and which one are you going to grab onto? But some of the issues we were having with the existing admins was we were having errors, quality control issues, and a lot of it was, hey, a brand new company, you bring on board people that and maybe it was the right person, wrong seat, etc. But as it turns out, Kendall brought to the table that, hey, let's give this a try. And once you rip away all the let's see, Monday words, the anxiety, the preconceived notions, all those things that become barriers. And we gave it a shot. It was not long before it was, oh crap, that was easy. So, and again, many of our tasks are spreadsheet based, customer portal interactions, digital, not so much customer facing, but such a huge aspect of our business is relational, that our guys and people on the ground in the front of the front facing with the customer was such that if I could gather this data at a job site and throw it to a person ready to translate it and get it into the presentable form, it was just an easy bridge to cross. And, it could be a person working in DFW or through the power of technology elsewhere. It really became a no-brainer. And it has been it's proven to be very successful for us and efficient for obvious reasons.
That's cool. And how many folks do you guys have now? Because I know you started with 1 or 2.
We had 2 local, if you want to call them that, admins, and we got rid of both. And so it was zero. It was the
Mm.
ground. We
Wow.
kind of reset some of our processes and made the delegators do those tasks so that we understood them better. And
Yep.
then we brought on our first admin, my outdesk rep, and immediately realized, hey, this is great. But then the timing of that was such that we were understanding what COVID meant to us. And so it's this fear of growth, expanding. And so we slow played it. So our first one came on board, it was June of last year. And we brought another one on towards the end of the year because we were, in spite of all things global, we were growing and saw the momentum that, hey, this is going to end sometime. So we brought on another one and early February, and it has just allowed us to go crazy. And we have in plans to continue to add, but
Right.
as I mentioned, the having a person, we'll call them our project managers. We want to pair them up. So as we add a project manager, we will likely add another My Outdesk admin and just keep that relationship between the two intimate, if you will, so that as we expand maybe territory, we've got someone that is not so preconceived with other things that they can just learn at once. So it has, like I said, it's proven to be extremely efficient, not just, and it's not about cost. It is hiring and bringing someone on that we want to employ the whole person. As I tell each one of them during the interview, hey, we're looking through a glass, but it's not one way. I want to make sure that they feel that we are a good fit. And so it has to reciprocate as far as the value of the employer and employee. And both of them, it's great because we do want to change lives with our employment. We want to be impactful. And some of the conversations, and I call them a conversation instead of an interview. I want to just sit down and speak. Hey, what do you bring to the table? Let me define what our table is, see where it matches. But if it doesn't, that's okay. Nothing personal. So the success that we've had, in my opinion, is predicated on the fact that we are bringing on board people that understand this remote position. That sometimes you bring on an employee that they want to be the next project manager, that succession, right?
Yep.
So our opinion and our perspective is that with my outdesk, look, we may have in an admin role right now, but at one point they may be the manager of the admin role. So
Right.
having that, building that fleet, not to sound condescending, but to have that group of employees that can otherwise be managed by someone who has come up through the ranks during their employment. So we see how this will allow us to scale. And that's everything that we do. It's how will this work in the future at, be it 15, 50, 100 million.
Right. And you guys are running on EOS. So do you have your virtual professionals in any sort of L10 meeting? Are they joining you guys? Are they accountable for rocks? Or I'm just kind of curious how you blended a virtual professional, your construction company, and then that system.
Absolutely. And I would say your telepathy channel is working very good today because you couldn't have said it any better, quite honestly, is that yes, they are part of our team. And therefore, since we have the EOS platform, everyone will be running on that. And so each admin will have a rock or responsible for helping define that. It's not a dictatorship, as you very well understand. We want to
Yep.
be such a tight knit company of team members that complement, supplement, whatever term you want to use, but we want to grow together. So yes, rocks are assigned and held accountable. L10 meetings, we have them every Wednesday as the leadership, but now that we are growing and scaling, hey, that L10 will be at the secondary level now as well. So hey, we're up to 2 L10 meetings, which is awesome, right? But it is great to be able to assign rocks and see the growth. Hey, it's holding people accountable, and it's so far been a beautiful thing.
That's awesome. If you were to go back in time and give yourself advice about hiring virtual talent and virtual professionals and like getting in partnership with us, what would that look like for you? What would you tell your new self a year ago, last June, about making this leap?
First, say, hey, David, it's not a leap. It's a simple step
Yep.
because it really is getting beyond those preconceived notions of virtual. But look, the entire world understands now better how
Yep.
effective people can be working virtually. So, in my humble opinion, it creates more of a baseline understanding that, hey, being remote is not, it doesn't have the negative connotations. I was in a previous organization that we wanted to be front facing, touchy feely, so to speak, HR be damned. But it is very important now that we all understand, hey, the value, efficiency, the fear of holding somebody accountable because I don't see them clocking in, let it go. People that the right person will contribute to the organization what's expected, but you have to make sure you have the right person. And again, the magic formula is such that it's easy to tell early on if the culture fits. And it has to be reiterated daily that, hey, this is the direction we're going. And as I've used the analogy for many years in my careers is, hey, the boat is leaving the dock. And if you stay on that dock, it's going to be even harder to catch up. And that's with every aspect. It could be a task that you're doing, or I hate the adage, but I will use it, drinking the company Kool-Aid, right? And the longer you hold out, the further you are going to be behind. And suddenly the fix will be very glaring, that the fit will be glaring that it doesn't work.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask a hospitality guy how the market's going. Like, what's going on in your world right now? Are more and more orders coming up? Are people doing more and more renovations now that we've kind of taken that turn and the world's about to open up? Like, what's happening in your world right now?
Well, it's interesting because our market segment is not the traditional business travelers hotel.
Yep.
Without advertising for any one brand, I'll just say the ones that we may have checked in as a traveling manager. That segment, you could drive by a parking lot 6 months ago and it'd be empty, right? The extended stay market has done very well. And you can research anything you want to do to realize that, hey, very few markets fell under below probably 50% occupancy. So
Yep.
even in the world troubled market that we had in hospitality last year, we were able to grow. And it's part of our diversification that we've been able to jump into and expand. But being that anomaly, we realized, hey, it wasn't by luck. It was by, choice to make sure that we stayed close with our relationships and with all of our business partners. But from the hospitality perspective, clearly it's ramped up, obviously. So, may have gone from above 50 and now it's above 70 and 80% occupancy. So, hey, if there's heads in beds, everybody's happy and revenue's flowing.
Right. It's interesting. Okay. Well, Dave, thanks for your time. Appreciate you guys as customers. Glad you came on camera today to share your experience. It's been good. We love contractors. It's such a great business, right? It's challenging right now with the price of lumber. You guys you seen any more impact around that, materials and labor shortages?
The labor, fortunately, a lot of our partners have done very well maintaining their capacity.
Yeah.
Conversation primarily has been around, the material pricing, being transparent with our customer and being fair with our partners to make sure that, hey, if we're squeezing, it's got to be at the top line. It can't just be at the bottom line. So we are making sure that we have to be fair in all that we do. And it's not just, pricing, but all things. And having close relationships with many of our partners, it's just been very healthy. And again, it's all about being transparent, be fair with the customer, open and honest, and things will, when they return to, if there is a normal, we don't know yet, it will remain a healthy relationship.
It's interesting. So when you talk about transparency, are you consistently with the people who are paying the checks and the people who are doing the work? How long do you lock them in? Like, do you lock in the pricing for the subcontractors first and then go to the customer and say, hey, this is the number? Or is the customer driving the number and then you got to go backwards to the subcontractor? I'm just kind of curious how that market works, especially because demand is just off the chart in what you guys are doing. And materials and labor is just shifting so rapidly.
Yeah, I think it's going both directions. We speak with our subcontractors and do our own due diligence, right? To make sure that, hey, if you're telling me it's a 15% increase, I need to trust but verify. But quickly, quick 180 to the customer to say, hey, I know we have this template pricing for this project, and we don't want to become the master of change orders, right? We want to be, current on pricing, and making sure that they're aware of it. And it doesn't take them long to understand, you know what, you're right. Let's do the right thing because, hey, it's a cycle. And I guess we've said it often enough, but you don't want to cross the line there. But it really is important that, yeah, pricing, and it's not just pricing. I mean, heck, it could be pricing of materials, but even, fuel things, pipelines freeze and suddenly we can't get people to sites. Those have to be very transparent. And again, fortunately, the partners that we do business with, the customers, it is such an open and authentic relationship that pick up the phone, call them, and be fair with them. And what's great, even with something as trivial as that aspect, we share it with the team. We have our team calls, our My Outdesk. Everybody just understands that, hey, if we get a call from a vendor saying, hey, this is not going to work at this price, or hey, last time it was $500, this time it's $600. Everybody on the entire team understands that has to be quick to be pointed out on the bids we're posting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. In your world, now that you've had a year experience with us, what are the areas that a virtual assistant can help contractors, like sales and marketing, ops, accounting, finance? Like, I'm just kind of curious where you see the boxes of our folks helping contractors out.
Well, I think for our VAs, what we have migrated to now is bill payments. We're working with so many different vendors. We're getting invoices from all over. Having a true and well-documented process that is, hey, we're, like I said, getting invoices in, make sure they're matched to a work order number, get it paid, but we don't need to pay it the day after it's completed. Hey, time value of money is important on all aspects. So we've enlisted that as one of the tasks that will be completed by one of our VAs. Posting of bids, not creating the bids necessarily, but it is gathering that information, working with our subcontractors that may have some input on that bid, the project managers that have seen it face to face. Again, monetizing the bids posted to our customers or posted back to the project manager so they can review it. And then, so there's, yes, you might say, well, that's a duplicity. Well, no, it's sanitizing and making sure that it is correct, because accuracy is a huge part of our lives and will remain that way. So I would say the gathering, following up on work orders that are outstanding. I mean, we're pushing 50 to 100 projects complete each week. And so being able to follow up and make sure that it's complete. If there is a change order, following that process all the way through before we enter the completed invoice. So very clerical in some aspects, but always technical. So
yeah, well, it's like revenue and cash flow is what I heard. Basically, those are the two areas
absolutely.
that you guys, yep, and on the administrative and project management side. So that's great.
One other piece that I would add in there, if I could, is it is, I'll call it a cycle. Every work order we have has a very straightforward cycle: the creation, the bidding, the approvals, the deployment, and then the completion/invoice. And every one of those steps is repeated. And having a team, VAs, project managers, myself, understand that at any point in time, if somebody should fall short on a particular part of that, again, we've got built-in redundancies, if you will, to make sure that it's picked up but remains accurate. And our VAs have contributed to that level of accuracy, that holding project managers that may be going from site to site to site to check on job status, they can pick up the phone and say, hey, this one's done, mark it complete, and then they take it from there. It's just a beautiful thing.
I love it. All right, Dave, again, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate you coming on camera and sharing your story with us. Glad to meet you face to face.
Yeah, and thank you for having a company that supports companies like ours and contributes to our success. It's greatly appreciated.